Alright, hey guys, I am back for another Golf Clash tutorial, and this is one of the best holes for using Guardian for your par 3 here that we have. I really prefer landing this ball on the green and being able to stop it abruptly. You got to be sure when you are playing headwinds like this that you add at least an extra ring on whatever shot that you would usually do. So there you're seeing my opponent kind of block it out to the left a little bit. I should be able to come within that. All things considered, even with, I don't have the best power ball on, shouldn't even matter. I usually play off of the max distance number for this hole, just so you guys are aware. And here you see I'm right at about 7.5 bars of backspin. So if you have more on your Guardian, you won't need it, but you can use it. You might just have to change the aim a little bit. But notice how I'm keeping it just left and behind the hole. In addition to that, I believe my max distance number is right around 1.7 or so. So you are going to see me go, maybe play it at 1.5, for example, and go right over 4 rings here, 4.5, about 4.5 rings. And hopefully I get perfect ball. There, I got it. So I would, assume that I'm going to have very good results here and maybe even backspin it. Yep, there it goes. Backspin right into the hole. You can see, you get it right behind the hole there. You can have a lot of success on this hole. I anticipate you guys being able to play that hole very productively and smart. Like I said, you play an over adjustment. It's kind of equivalent to an extra ring. So if I would have played 1.7 there straight up, which is my max distance number on Guardian. Now keep in mind I was setting up behind the hole to begin with. And that's just to kind of counter the wind a little bit. But in addition to that, I usually played at max distance on that anyway to begin with. The only exception might be downwind. But anything that's a side wind or into the wind, I'm going to play more of a max distance type adjustment. And there you're seeing, I was able to execute that with little trouble. And like I said, just make sure that you're going, when it's in the face like that, you don't need to do it on the side winds, but if it's in the face like that, make sure you're going an extra ring or so. So for example, if I would have played 1.7 straight up, what is that in terms of 6.2? Is that what I had? 3.5 rings? Well, I went 4.5 rings. So see, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of equivalent to an extra ring. So, and if you want to know, in terms of, your ring adjustments, you would just take 6.2 and divide it by 1.7. That gives you the number of rings to move. So that's the easiest way to calculate rings, is by integer division. Like, just take those two numbers, divide them by one another. And, what I do is I usually use like multiplication in my head. Plus, if you have the ring chart, you can use that as well. If you have a chart that just kind of is at your table side and you have Guardian 4 just mapped out, you can say, well, 1 ring is 1.7, 2 is 3.4, 3 is 5.1, 4 is 6.8, and you can go at it that way. 5 is 8.5, and if you have that at your disposal, you'll make far few errors. It's funny because I actually make mathematical errors all the time. You wouldn't think that I do by the way that, I execute, but, every once in a while, at least, 4 or 5 times a day at a minimum, I make a mathematical mistake in my head. For the most part, I just try to, estimate to the best of my ability. I don't try to get too specific because this game isn't really an exact science. But there's a lot of, science and physics to the way that you need to look at things. And once you get those tricks down, you will be good to go. So be on the lookout for more of my shootouts. This is hopefully, more wins to come. As you see, I have Guardian on. I also have Backbone on. So what I'm doing with those two clubs is I'm kind of taking advantage of, because I know that I've mentioned in maybe other videos that, you know, I like sniper in this tour. Well, that's very much dependent on having a decent sniper. Sniper 8, Sniper 9. If you don't, and you have a weak sniper, Guardian is by far better. So keep that in mind and be on the lookout for more of my tutorials, as I'll be posting as many wins as I can for you guys. And good luck out there. See you guys on the next one.